Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. And it's time for another sort of monthly vinyl update where I go over a bunch of records that have recently made it into my collection. And just kind of talk some albums, talk some recent and past releases, and new pickups, stuff that I've been listening, stuff that I've been into, stuff that I think that I would like to share with you because you might be into it too. These videos usually end up being a nice opportunity to kind of jump out of the, I guess, a new music cycle loop a bit and just kind of have a nice, cool, unscripted, free-form music blah blah yap session. And as you guys have already seen, we got a few classics in the pile already, which I will go over. But hopefully you enjoy the video. Thank you very much for clicking in. To kick things off, a more recent release, one that I actually reviewed on the channel. If you guys have not seen this review, I recommend that you go back to it and check out the group yourselves. That would be the latest full-length LP from the Meridian Brothers, Mi Latino America Sufre. Very interesting combination of cumbia experimental music as well as African highlife music as well. The guitar parts on this are insane. The rhythm sections are insane. The grooves are crazy. And just really interesting combination of influences going into this with some very chaotic performances on some tracks. Very odd, a little surreal, a little psychedelic. Also loving the very strange series of pretty detailed and impressive paintings going into the cover art on this thing. It's any number of these could have made for a great album cover, and yet you're getting one after the next after the next. Some of which are pretty disturbing and strange. The headless thing, Aura, we're snorting, weird angels, lots of suffering going on. But yes, it's quite odd and strange imagery. That's for sure. But I'm liking it. Standard black pressing, threw it on the turntable, sounded great, sounded fantastic. I'm really happy to have another Meridian Brothers edition, because I'm pretty sure I have another record of theirs in the collection. But yes, Meridian Brothers are and continue to be at the forefront of the experimental Colombian music scene, and for good reason. So very good LP from them. All right, next shout out to a record store and label local to me, Red Scroll Records. They passed me this next one for free. Just asked that I check it out.
Trance.
Macabre, I believe, is how we are saying this. Never heard this group before. Just threw it on the turntable, raw, no research, no expectations, no nothing. It is a little 4-track EP, standard black pressing, based off of the album cover art. I thought I was going to be in for some kind of like weird early to mid 2000s noisecore or just like experimental indie project or something like that, but this is very much not that. The vibe is actually some kind of dark and foreboding jazz fusion. Believe it or not, we have we have trumpet in the mix, we have sax, we have electric keys and organ, we have flute as well, drums, and fretless electric bass. And just like the performances, I would say, are like, they're a little amateurish, that's for sure, but they do come off with some great compositional ideas as a group. Here and there, at least on the first half of the record that I was spinning. Again, big jazz fusion vibes on this thing, but it's a little strange, it's a little dark, it's a little tortured, it's a little unnerving in a way that's actually pretty refreshing and sick. It's cool to, sort of like see labels and see young and up-and-coming groups still kind of like messing with this vibe, messing with this style. I'm glad that it's like not totally going out of fashion jazz rock and jazz fusion. That is, but really some really sick ideas throughout this thing. And again, if this is your bag and you want to hear a group that is up and coming, getting out there, Dance Macabre, look it up. Red Scroll Records, liking this quite a bit. Respect for that. All right, moving on from there. Shout out to Hiatus Coyote, newest full length LP. The Heart Cheat Code. Oh, sorry, Love Heart Cheat Code. It's signed by the group. Holy crap. What the hell? What? Are we serious? Signed by the group? Love Heart Cheat Code? Signed by the group? A lot of great tracks on this thing, including a fun little interlude that features the voice actor that does BMO on Adventure Time. And we have a cool, fun little blue pressing on the record as well that matches the cover art on the front very well. Some of the group's funkiest songs, the incredibly intense and mind-blowing Cinnamon Temple as well, which the performance on that is just insane. Some silly cuts, as well as some very moving and heartwarming songs on there as well, like Make Friends, Everything's Beautiful. I just love the kind of the sentiment of a lot of these tracks. It's very positive. It's very feel-good. It's a little woo-woo. It's a little spiritual, but in a way that is, again, endearing, cute, heartwarming. If you're looking for some experimental rock and neo-soul and so on and so forth to fill up your days and brighten your mood a little bit, check this out. Give this a listen. This is very fun. This is very entertaining. All right. Sick. Next, ANOHNI and the Johnsons. I don't want to mess up the title because obviously it's long. My Back Was a Bridge for You to Cross. I mean, absolutely gorgeous and stunning record. Lots of backing, soul-influenced instrumentation with killer lead vocals from ANOHNI, as it was kind of made clear in the lyrics on the album, and obviously the cover art too. There are a lot of themes throughout this record in terms of political injustice, queer liberation, so on and so forth. And I feel like the inner art of the record, especially like we're talking all the news articles and obituaries that are, referenced in terms of like important queer icons and activists, even on the labeling on the record itself, which is a pure white pressing, by the way. It's all very holistic. It all really kind of comes together in a big, grand kind of statement that the packaging itself reinforces. We have lyrics. We have an image on the other side. There is sort of like an opening sleeve I would like to go over, but there is like sort of partial nudity involved that I will not be able to show on camera, but still there is a pretty stunning poster and, kind of a bare bones phrase written on the inside. It's time to feel what's really happening, which again, I think is a kind of another key message of the album and its, best works. This idea of kind of like refusing the normalization of certain things and rejecting this kind of like, phenomenon of kind of being like a frog in the boiling pot, and you're really not sure as to whether or not things are getting worse, things are getting hotter. This album is a call to action, and a beautiful one, and a moving one at that, with again stunning writing and performances all around. I've sort of like thrown the record in its own sort of like white sleeve, so it's not, kind of messing with the actual sleeve that's in the album. But stunning record. Beautiful record, highly recommended. I think one of the best albums of last year, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure, it came out recently. So that's wonderful. Please give that a spin if you have not. All right, this next one is an album that honestly has been one of the biggest gaps in my record collection for a very long time. And I don't know why. I guess it's just one of those albums I came across like very early on in kind of my younger music discovery days. I've always had, I've always had access to it in some form or fashion. But, you know, I've never had it on vinyl. I've probably seen it around here or there, but just didn't have the incentive at the time to pick it up because there's so many pressings of it. Of course, it's a recent pressing. It's not like some original or anything like that. But it's, you know, the first kind of official Modern Lovers record, Jonathan Richman. Big kind of proto-punk release. Like one of the most ahead of its time, you know, dawn of punk albums that there ever was and ever will be. Incredible record. Recording and pressing on here sounded amazing. It was like I was listening to it live. And you know, some of my favorite tracks, rock tracks of all time, are on this thing. Like Road Runner, ba, ba, ba. Like very chaotic, very fun, very Velvet Underground kind of energy. You know, nothing too much to speak of in terms of like the cover art or anything like that. You know, nice kind of glossy finish. The record itself is heavy duty, 180 grams, and again, sounded amazing. Standard black sleeve, nice heavy duty sleeve as well. Top of the record is a little, you know, scuffed up a little bit, but I'm not like a perfectionist or somebody who buys records to, you know, like resell them. If it's a little, you know, dinged, I'm not going to cry about it, just as long as the album itself sounds good. But yes, Modern Lovers, self-titled, incredible record, amazing record. You know, I think a really important record for rock and roll music, period. All right, next several, I have not opened all of these, but you know, they're all kind of coming in a bunch here because I did a bit of a rush splurge binge. I recently did on the Patreon page, which Austin and I recommend that you join up. We did a classic album live stream. We do one every month, and we did one for Moving Pictures. And I kind of realized like how big of a Rush gap there is in my record collection, and how a lot of those classic records, even, you know, repressings of them, are most likely going to sound fantastic, as this is like kind of a format they were originally meant to be kind of consumed on. If you're not familiar with Rush, I would recommend Moving Pictures. Highly. I have a, you know, copy of it myself and love it to death. Also, you know, 2112 I think is one of their best contributions to the prog rock canon, as it is a bit more holistic and multi-phased and epic and grand in structure. Is it my favorite of theirs? Not necessarily, but I do think it is an incredible album all the same. Of course, the pressing itself sounded amazing. I feel like as far as, again, my preferences in their catalog go, it's a bit more, you know, Moving Pictures. It's a bit more, you know, Permanent Waves as well. You know, this era of their career where they were incorporating, you know, more, I guess you could say, mainstream rock and pop rock elements into their repertoire while still firmly falling into the category of prog with some incredible and thoughtful and, you know, mind-blowing playing all around from everybody, because there is not a single like weak link in the trio chain of Rush. Like Alex's guitar playing, Neil's drumming, Geddy's bass playing and singing, and also, you know, keys and everything else that's being brought to the table. Just like everything 211 in, you know, the Rush experience points. You know, sort of like the talent that, you know, the band's bringing to the table, generally, just like incredibly mind-blowing and, you know, just like very fun, just repeatable anthems throughout this album, especially frickin' The Spirit of Radio. And I will choose free will. Like so many bops, so many bangers. Standard plastic sleeve, black. Well, I mean, not just plastic sleeve, with kind of like a like an anti-static backing in there. Look at the boys, looking young, looking fresh, looking clean over there. I mean, compare that with, I mean, obviously this is an earlier album, but like, goddamn, look, really dressing to impress on the back there. Got to say that. You know, over here, a lot more chill, a lot more natural, a little more natchy over here on the other side of the Permanent Waves sleeve. Excuse me. Whew. Throwing it back in there. It's quite dark and apocalyptic. We do have the Hemispheres cover as well, which does have some nudity on it. Probably can't show that. But we also have Signals too, which, you know, one of the final albums in the band's, you know, amazing run from the 70s to the 80s. But yes, you know, highly recommend all of these records, though I have not popped these two open quite yet. I've only been kind of spinning the first two, but I will get into them. But yeah, I kind of picked them up all at once because I was like, I need Rush now. So, you know, gotta have it. All right, this next one I have not popped open yet, though I'm not even sure like when or if I'm going to do that. But we have a sort of celebratory 10th anniversary edition of ScHoolboy Q's Oxymoron. Picture, disc, double, LP, situation, crazy. 4 sides. Going nuts over here. With the plastic sleeve again. I have not popped this open yet. Looks like we have some, you know, bonus tracks on here as well, which I think is fantastic. Again, 10th anniversary edition, Oxymoron, ScHoolboy Q, picture, double disc, epic as hell. Yes, I do want to open it. I'm afraid to. But I mean, good thing I don't need to, because you can kind of see everything just through the plastic. But incredible. Amazing. Awesome that, you know, the 10th anniversary of this album is being celebrated. I really kind of feel like this is, you know, outside of Q's latest record, this is truly like his best work. Though, you know, I get, if some of y'all are just like, you know, still on the blank face train, that's fine. I do not begrudge anybody a ride on the blank face train. Okay, you can debate that in the comments. All right, finally, we have Loveless, My Bloody Valentine. Here we go. The shoegaze standard, everybody. And listening to it on vinyl again for the first time in a long time. The reasons why that is, it's pretty much, you know, reconfirmed. The textures on this record are incredible, are amazing, are lush, are intense, are invigorating, and I found them to be especially gratifying on, like, you know, just a vinyl listen in a vinyl context. What is going on here? I'm so confused. I'm distraught. I'm lost. Here we go. This is it. Bam. That's what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. I was probably doing this a few seconds ago and everybody's like, Anthony, you're an idiot. What is wrong with you? I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. I'm a little distraught. I'm looking at it, but not this way. I'm looking at it through here and then doing this. But anyway, the intense saturated pink cover art. Here we go on the inside, double gatefold. The record itself, standard black. Feels a little heavier than 180, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. This thing is frickin' thick as heck. I feel like I could throw this at someone and kill them with it. It just sounds incredible. It's everything that I would have wanted out of a pressing of this and more. It's not original pressing. I got it it was not expensive at all. But it still sounds great, which I feel like is, you know, the important thing. Especially on the opening track, Only Shallow. I really loved when I was spinning this thing how just like pretty the jangly verses sounded, and then when that massive riff and that rush of bass comes in on the chorus, like it just like hit like a ton of freaking breaks. It was just really filled up the room. It was like there was a rumble to it, which I loved, was incredible. But yeah, the mix and the master on you know, the vinyl pressing here sounded incredible, sounded heavy, sounded fantastic. So really happy to finally have this on vinyl. And you know, again, it's a repressing, but I don't care. You know, if it sounds great, it sounds great, and it most definitely does. So, all right, well, Loveless, My Bloody Valentine, classic as hell. Glad I have it. Glad it's here. Glad it's in the collection. And that has been the vinyl update for everybody. Okay? It's been the vinyl update. 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 Thank you for chilling. Thank you for coming through. Mwah. I will see you guys in the next review, the next whatever. Anthony Fantano, vinyl, update, forever.